Hello everyone and welcome to the Bama Breakdown. I'm your host Bryant from B-Man Films and this is your talk show for everything Alabama football. This weekend, Alabama played Southern Mississippi, or more commonly known as Southern Miss, in Tuscaloosa, Alabama at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Now we'll break down the box score. In the first quarter, Southern Miss scored no points and Alabama scored 14. In the second quarter, Southern Miss scored 7 points and Alabama scored 14. And in the third quarter, Southern Miss scored no points, and Alabama scored yet again 14 points. And in the fourth quarter, Southern Miss scored no points, and Alabama scored 7, resulting in a final score of 7-49 with an Alabama win. Now we'll break down the stats. In the passing game, Tua went 17 for 21 for 293 yards and 5 touchdowns. Also in the passing game, Mac Jones played for a little bit, and Talia, or also known as Leah, Tua's brother, played, and he went, in the passing game, he went 1 for 1 for 20 yards. In the rushing game, Najee Harris led the team with 14 carries for 110 yards with no touchdowns, and after him was Brian Robinson. He had 8 carries for 39 yards and 1 touchdown. In the passing game, Henry Ruggs led the team with 4 receptions for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. And after him was Jerry Jeudy with 6 catches for 96 yards and also 2 touchdowns. Najee Harris also caught a touchdown pass, resulting in 5 touchdowns for the team. Now welcome to a new but much needed segment on the show. This is your Crimson Tide Injury Report. Yesterday, our freshman kicker, Will Reichard, hurt his leg on a kickoff. It was later determined that he strained his lower hip flexor and is questionable for next week's game. Also injured in the game was nose tackle DJ Dale, who got hurt late in the first half and has a palar tendon strain. Next Saturday, Alabama will play Ole Miss in Oxford, Mississippi at 3:30. This should be a pretty easy game because Ole Miss has proven to not be much of a threat to the Tide and should be a pretty easy game based on their record. And now welcome to a brand new segment on the show called Don't Be That Team, where I will talk about teams that are just kind of annoying. First I want to talk about Georgia, who, I don't know if you guys know, but we installed LED lights in our stadium. But, we haven't really had a night game yet. I don't even know if we're scheduled for a night game. So we haven't gotten to use them. And then Georgia comes along, steals the lights. They don't take them from our stadium, but they steal our idea on the lights. They put in the lights, and then they get to use them in their big game against Notre Dame last weekend. Come on, man, don't be that team. Also, another one is the self-proclaimed national champions of 2 years ago, the UCF Golden Knights. They thought they were so good, they finally got scheduled for 2 Power 5 conference teams at home against Stanford. They beat them, and then they played on the road against Pitt and lost. Don't be that team. If you can't even go on the road and beat a Power 5 unranked team, then why do you deserve to be ranked 16? Then why do you deserve to be ranked 15 and be the self-proclaimed national champion from a couple years ago? Any of the other ranked teams would absolutely dominate your schedule. Come on, man, don't be that team. And the final one is Miami. This is from a couple years ago, but they know how they have the turnover chain. Well, Alabama was the first team to come up with a prize for getting a turnover. It's called the ball out belt. You might have seen it. I'll throw up a picture right now. And basically you get the belt if you get a turnover. And then Miami came along, they made the turnover chain. And then the rest is history. Everyone's been basing it off of them. We created turnover things first. So come on, Miami, don't be that team. That's all this week from Don't Be That Team. I'll see you next week on Don't Be That Team. You've probably noticed that this week's set is different. So I had to make a makeshift set. As you can see, my shakers right here and my little elephant Bama bead necklace thing right here, and a bear with Alabama jersey, roll tide. So this is my little makeshift studio for this week. I'll be back at home next week for the Ole Miss game, back in the normal set. Thanks for tuning into the show. I'm your host Bryant from B-Man Films. I hope you have a great week, and signing off.